Welcome to Part 2 of IEEE Style Basics, The Need for Citations. My name is Teresa Calcagno, and I am the IT and Engineering Librarian here at George Mason University. In this video, I will review basic information on citations, why they are so important, when you need to cite, and what you need to cite. I will also define the two different types of citations, in-text and reference, that you are required to use in your paper. And I will cover the information required in citations and introduce and define the digital object identifier. Why must you do citations for your research papers? How do you know when to cite something? Does anybody really read citations? Citations are needed in research papers because they help readers know what research you read, analyzed, and synthesized while developing your own arguments for your paper. Your citations place your research into the proper context of the research field. Citations make it easier for other researchers to find the research you used for your paper so they can read the articles themselves. It is also very important to give credit when credit is due. Anything less is unethical. So if you use someone else's research, it's important that you cite their research, because if credit is not given by one author to another author's work, it is plagiarism. The accuracy of your citations is also very important. Everybody makes mistakes, but if there are many mistakes in a paper's citations, readers may think that the author is sloppy and may discount the quality of their research. So double check your citations before submitting your paper. Knowing when to cite is just as important as knowing when not to cite. Following the guidelines here will help make it easier for you to make those decisions. When to cite, you must cite information you get from another author or researcher, including their opinions, ideas, or analysis, statistics, figures, graphs, etc. You also must cite if you paraphrase someone's research or ideas. Note, paraphrasing is more than just switching out some words and rearranging the sentences. Paraphrasing involves reading the original passage, probably several times, thinking about it, synthesizing the ideas, and rewriting it in your own words. If at any time you're not sure if you need a citation, it's better to err on the side of caution. So when in doubt, use a citation. When shouldn't you cite something? If something is a fact or common knowledge, such as the sun sets in the west, then there is no need to cite a source for it. The other time that you never need to cite a source is if the information is your own original work. It's your ideas, analysis of your research project's information, thoughts and conclusions related to the project. There's no need to cite this. These are all your ideas. To create accurate citations, specific information is required. Regardless of what citation style you use, the information you need for different resources is basically the same. The information required may vary by research type, however. This chart shows the information required to cite 5 common resources used in engineering research. The first column lists the type of information needed, and you can see it says author, title, etc. And the next 5 columns each list a different type of resource, articles, books, book chapters, and check marks are used to show which types of information are needed for each resource. As you can see, all 5 of these resources require a title, an author or editor, publication date, and possibly a publication city or state. Other types of information may also be required for different resource types, like a website, which requires a URL. Digital object identifiers are unique identifiers that are given to online articles, conference papers, ebooks, and ebook chapters. Also called DOIs, they can be made into a permanent link to a document, meaning that a researcher will always be able to find the document with the DOI, even if the journal's website address changes. When available, DOI links should be added at the end of a citation to help future researchers. If you have a DOI number for an article, create the link by typing https://doi.org / in front of the DOI number, as we see in the example on the slide. Now let's get into the citations that are used in engineering papers. They have two parts. The first part are the in-text citations, which are placed in the body of the paper, and the reference citations, which are placed at the end of the paper. First, let's examine why and how in-text citations are used. In-text citations are placed in the body of the paper to show where another researcher's work has been used. If you talk about a study done by another engineer, or you use statistics from another research paper or government agency, you must put an in-text citation into the paper at the point where you've used the information. In-text citations also act as pointers to the complete references at the end of the paper, making it easy for readers to find a paper listed in the reference section. Once they find the reference citation, the reader can locate the paper themselves. Creating in-text citations in IEEE is very easy. All you need to do is sequentially number the papers you use as you cite them the first time. Put each paper number in square brackets in the text when you cite it. The example at the bottom of the slide shows the placement of the in-text citation within the punctuation for the sentence. In-text citations in IEEE use the number assigned to each resource when it is first cited as the in-text citation to refer readers to the source of the information. If you cite that resource again, use the original number that's been assigned. It will help you to keep a list of your resource and write the number down next to the author's name so there are no questions when you do your reference list. Doing this is very useful in case you add new references to the list and have to renumber the resources. When you cite multiple sources for the same information, there are different ways to list the number. If the sources are not sequential, list each one separately in order and separated by commas, as seen here on the slide. If the sources are sequential, you can list the range of source numbers. So it would start with the first source number. Here it's a number 7 dash last source number, number 13. One piece of advice: when you're working on a group project, it helps if one person assumes the role of the citation editor. This will help minimize paper errors in the paper and in the reference list. Now let's take a look at the reference citations at the end of your paper. And what are the references? They are complete citations of the published or in-press sources used in your paper, and that would include research articles, magazine articles, books, government reports, and websites. Each reference contains all the information that a reader will need to find the item referenced. And every in-text citation needs a reference at the end, but it is not required that all references are cited in the text. So it might happen that you will consult a source and learn from it, but you won't cite it in your text, but you should still include the full reference citation in the reference list if you do that. Since you are creating your paper in the 2-column IEEE publication style, the reference list will also be done in 2-column format and single-spaced. There are no indented lines in an IEEE style reference. Instead, let the text wrap from one line to the next. Author names are listed with the first and middle initials first, followed by the last name. They are not inverted like other citation styles do. Arrange the sources on the reference list in the order they are cited, that is, by source number and not alphabetical order. The website listed on this slide is an excellent IEEE citation guide at the Naval Postgraduate School Library website. This guide covers many additional source types beyond the basic ones here and is a very helpful resource, especially if you are not using citation tools like Zotero, ZoteroBib, or Mendeley. If you would like more information on those tools, check the Write and Cite page of the subject guide. This slide lists several online resources that you can use to help you when creating IEEE citations. First, you can email me I've been doing this for a few years, and I can look things up and help you get some and check your citations if you have questions. The rest of the resources are on other websites. The IEEE resources at the Naval Postgraduate School are quite good. And in addition to the reference examples, they also have a list of journal abbreviations, which will be something you might need. The Purdue OWL has just recently released an IEEE information page, and the link to it is here. We've reached the end of part 2. Please join me for part 3, creating IEEE citations. If you have any questions, please email me at tcalcagn@gmu.edu. Thank you.